Good afternoon, my wonderful Facebook friends. It's been quite a while since you've heard from me. Some of you may have missed me, some of you may have been delighted not to hear from me for a while. Some of you may not know that I've grown lockdown hair because it's been such a long time. So I pray and I hope you are well wherever you are, despite this whole crazy scamdemic. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. You don't need to agree, but that's my opinion, my belief from what I understand and what I've researched and what I know. 2020 was insane, completely ridiculous. This year seems to be going the same way. And, I'm very grateful and happy and full of joy and hope about life in general. But I know that's not the case for a lot of people, mostly because of a lack of awareness and understanding of who they are, some of the principles and laws of the universe, which we all live by, God's master plan, who you are in relation to God, your relationship. And if you don't understand all those things, then it is going to be very daunting, overwhelming, because we believe that we're subject to the winds of change. Our lives depend on circumstances, the economies, lockdown, all of that. It's actually not true. Your entire life, whether you believe this or not, you're going to be thinking, well, Vincent, how can you say this? Because there are circumstances. This is the economy. This is the physical world. That is that nutcase Boris Johnson. This is all real. So how can my life possibly be a complete mirror of who I am, my thoughts, my feelings, and my behavior, my attitude? How can my life be a reflection of my attitude towards it, my perceptions, my beliefs? How can it be? Well, I'm not going to go into quantum mechanics and quantum physics right now, but if you look into that, and books like The Wisdom of Your Cells by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and other materials, you find out that reality is just based on our own perception. We can't hear most sound, we can't see most light frequency, we're not sensitive to electromagnetic fields. Even the same with some animals, some fish have higher sensitivity than we do. We think we live in 3 dimensions. It's actually a lot more. So our perception of reality, just from our basic senses, our sight, our hearing, our taste, our smell, our touch, are actually way less than what's really going on. And what's really going on is our mind, our imagination, our feelings. They create frequencies, vibrations that go out to the universe and interact with all the other frequencies and vibrations, whether it's plant life or animals or people. Right? There's an energy, there's an intelligent living substance that forms all matter, including us. There's one big difference than us. We have an imagination, a will. We have higher intellectual faculties, memory, imagination, perception, that allow us as, I'm just going to wind my window, I'm sorry, that allow us as the species we call human beings, not human doings, by the way, human beings. It allows us to create circumstances and material objects and a reality simply from our imagination. The glasses I'm wearing, the phone you're using to listen to this, or the laptop, everything you see around you, the clothes you're wearing, the food you eat, was once just someone's imagination, an idea in their mind. They held that idea for long enough, they got emotionally involved, right? Maybe they talked to other people, they had a vision, a picture of it in their mind, and then it became a reality. You may be thinking, well, that's quite simple, of course, but it's a simple concept, but actually very important, because if we didn't have the imagination, if we didn't have words, if we didn't have pictures in our mind, then that would never have manifested in physical reality, right? Without the imagination, without the will, perception, memory, our ability to visualize things and see our future before it happens. Where can I see my future? Now, you can't see my eyes because I have my glasses, but I could close my eyes. It's not a good idea when I'm driving on the motorway, so I'm going to do it very briefly. I can close my eyes and think, right now I'm on a beach. Next year in Bali. Am I on the beach in this physical world? No. But in my imagination I am. So where am I really? That's up for debate. You may think, well, you're in your car. But metaphysics and quantum mechanics would tell us, no, you're actually in Bali. Because if you're in Bali in your mind, That's where you really are. We aren't going to that all now, but how can we create our reality? First, it begins with your thinking. If you have stinking thinking, you're going to have a stinking life. I used to, until I met Bob Proctor, who taught me to change my stinking thinking. So first we have to start with our thoughts, but not just your thought like, I fancy a cup of tea, isn't it a lovely day? No, our habitual thinking, and 95% of your thoughts are the same every day, the same after, and eventually after a while what that does is create neurology, neural networks, a computer program in your mind, and that program runs your body. If you don't believe me, think about it. I'm in my car now talking to you. Am I thinking about driving? Not really. But in the beginning I was thinking, okay, put the, turn on the ignition, mirror signal maneuver, make sure your indicators are on. But now I can just drive talking to you, because I don't need to think about driving, because I've created a program in my mind that allows my subconscious to tell my body what to do. I'm not thinking, press the accelerator, press the brake. These are automatic actions, because my mind now has a program from memory that was repeated and strengthened and strengthened and strengthened to develop the neurology, and some people call it muscle memory, to allow me to drive without thinking about driving consciously. Well, that's your whole life. Your computer program, your paradigms, your mental programming, whatever you want to call it, your software in your mind, right? Your software in your mind runs your body. And that software was created when you were a child, and whatever you do in life is dictated by your subconscious programming. You may think, you know what, I want a better life. I want to leave my job. I want to get married. I want to have a good relationship. I want to get healthy. I want to stop smoking. I want to be a better human being. I want to be financially free. Whatever it is you want. If your mental program that was given to you as a child does not agree, it will reject it. Computer says no, that kind of thing, right? But unfortunately, your mind is the most powerful computer. It is a supercomputer. And to change that, we've got to change our attitude. But we've got to start with our thinking. Why do we have the beliefs we do about ourselves in life? Why do we have the thoughts we do? Why do we perceive life as either glass full or glass half empty, glass half full or half empty? Because of the way we were brought up, our social conditioning, the news at that time, our parents, grandparents, school, peers, right? It's all mental programming. So we've got to start with our belief system and ask ourselves, why do I believe what I believe? Is it necessarily true? Once the people thought the world was flat. They thought that everything went round the earth. People thought all kinds of things, right? We now know are not true. So your belief system is not true. It's just what was given to you as a child. There's a debate. What is true? What is real? That's still up for debate. The only truth I know is God. But anyway, we won't go into that right now. So our thinkings, let's start to question our beliefs. Why is my life the way it is? Is it because of circumstances? If you look at it very carefully, you will find out that no, it's not. You are the only problem and the only solution you'll ever have. The problem is in your thinking. So first we need to deal with that, our habitual thinking. And it's actually very easy. All we need to do is replace the negative programming with positive programming. How do we do that? The same way it was put there, repetition. We've got to be listening to different information, different beliefs. There's plenty of audios, I won't go into them now, plenty of books, Bob Proctor, there's so much that I've been reading and studying over the past 4 years that has allowed me to create a new belief system, and it's a lifelong journey. Once you start to change your thoughts and your belief system with new, empowering, life-enhancing thoughts, you will start to feel differently. If I feel I'm going to have a bad day, am I going to feel in a particularly good mood? No. If I feel the day is going to be great, it's going to be a blessed day, it's going to be rewarding, purposeful, I'm going to have great things happen to me and great things happen through me, I'm going to feel pretty good, and I'm probably going to go out there and have better relationships, better interactions, better decisions that will help me create the results that I really desire in my life, okay? So your thoughts and your feelings are part of what we call your attitude. Your attitude will determine the altitude of your life. Your attitude will determine your altitude. If you have a bad attitude, you're going to have a bad life. So how do we change our attitude? We start with our thoughts. that gives us a particular feeling. If I told you all right now, there was £1 million in your garden or stuck up your chimney or wherever it is in your house, and it was waiting for you when you got home, your whole day would be different. I know money's not everything, right? But let's say that is the example I'm going to use. There's £1 million waiting for you when you got home. Even if you're having a horrible day at work, even if someone's being rude, whatever's happened to you, it will be meaningless, because when you get home, you know there's £1 million waiting for you, right? Okay, so the thought you had about £1 million created a feeling, and now suddenly you feel happy and excited, and that will probably cause you to behave differently. You might even leave your job immediately and go home. So our thoughts and our feelings start to affect our actions, right? Because if you don't believe something is possible, you're never going to do anything about it. So a lot of people tell me, I want a better life, I want this, I want that, right? But you don't get what you want or what you need actually in life. You get what you deserve. We'll cover that later. So the last part is your actions. If I believe that I can be successful, if I believe that this journey in entrepreneurship and financial freedom will work for me, if I believe I can be a world-selling, best-selling author, and my books will impact millions of lives in a positive way, tens of millions, that my tours, when I speak on stage, will sell out to tens of thousands, right? That in the process, I'm going to become incredibly wealthy and financially free. Why? So I can be an inspiration and a testimony for others, for my family, my friends, people that I love, so I can make a contribution to humanity. Because the more you become, the more you do, the more you have, the bigger impact you can have in life. That's the reality, right? So that's part of why I'm doing it. I believe I can do these things. I believe I can actually be a billionaire. Now, a lot of you, if you know me from the past, will think, oh, Vincent's talking a lot of nonsense, right? I used to think like that, but I know it's true. Because I know who I am, I know about the laws of success, I understand who created me, I understand who's my father, I understand I'm a child of God, I'm anointed, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored. I didn't make this up, by the way, guys, it's all in scripture. So I now feel incredibly confident about my ability, because I know I have the ability to produce the results I want in life. All I've got to make sure, as well as the ability, I have the right attitude, which is my thoughts, my feelings, which will cause your behavior, right? And that behavior will start to produce new results and allow you to create the kind of life you dream about and that you are desperate to live. And please don't tell me that anyone that's listening to this call doesn't want to live a better life. I know you do, right? Every single person I meet, including me, we always want something better, not because we're greedy, because it's nature. Every single tree I can see out of my car, do you think that tree is going to think, you know what, I've had enough now. I'm going to have a break. I think I'll stop growing this year. The rain will come, the sun will come, the soil, the nutrients, and that tree will just grow to its full size as much as it can, right? You probably know this story about sharks. If you get a shark in a tank, it will only grow to the size of the tank. If you take it out and put it in the sea, it will just grow to its full size, regardless of how long you leave it in that tank. Nature is designed to become its full, or to realize its full potential. Animals, trees, whatever you want to call it, it's all designed to grow, right? And fulfill its purpose in life, whatever that is, and become all it can be. Human beings were the only species created with the dignity of free will and choice to become all they can be. Some people are born with a body, they develop it in the gym, they become athletes, whatever they do. We were given this, it's called your mind, right? It's a blueprint. Some people develop the mental faculties, their will, intuition, memory, imagination, perception, and some people don't, because they don't go to the mental gym. They don't change their belief system, right? They don't change the mental program. They keep the same one they were born with. And most of the world, whether you think it's not very kind to say or not, live boring, mundane, fairly miserable lives. Most people spend their whole life moaning about their circumstances because it's much easier than changing the mental program to live the life they say they want to live. But they don't, because they're not willing to change. Change is hard. Growth is hard. Complaining is easy. Moaning, sorry to swear, bitching about other people, gossiping, complaining about the government, the lockdown, all that. That's easy. Anyone can complain. I used to be one of the champions. I was a champion complainer, right? until I realized it wasn't really very helpful. It didn't do anything for me, my relationships, my life. I learned to be grateful. I'm not grateful because of what I have. I'm just grateful because I know an attitude of gratitude will start to attract all the good that I desire in life. These things are also physiology. When you are grateful and you live in a sense of prayer and thankfulness to God and praise and worship and gratitude for life in general, there's actually a change in your neurology. You produce a lot more endorphin, oxytocin, dopamine, which help your immune system, so you look younger, you feel healthy, you feel better. Your behavior will change even more. People will see you looking differently. People relate to you differently. And your life improves immeasurably. So that was a very brief, I was just driving and thought, I haven't done a Facebook Live for a long time. I fancy doing one. Now tonight, 8 p.m. UK time, I'm teaching on lesson 9 in the series, Science of Success. I created a group called Science of Success Mastermind because there is a science of success. There's a science, just like there's physics, chemistry, biology. There's a science of success. And if you don't know the laws of that particular science, you're not going to have the success you desire. So today's lesson 9, and it's actually all about attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude, how far you will rise in life. Bad attitude, bad life. Good attitude, you will start to attract all the good you desire in your life. Attitude is the composite of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, right? My life changed when I learnt this. It's still a work in progress. If you think people are perfect, right? Are you? No. So guess what? Neither is anyone else. No one's perfect, but we can strive for excellence. Don't be a perfectionist. That will lead to disappointment, competitiveness, comparison, and misery and depression. Be a person of excellence, not a perfectionist. It's okay to strive for excellence because there's never the point where you're going to reach it, right? That's good to strive to be better or excellence. And but I do know in the past 4 years I've changed. I'm now well on my way to being a billionaire. Now that sounds arrogant for some of you, and it's not about the money. I just want to show you what can happen when you change your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. A lot of you may know that I was a school principal. I wasn't particularly, I was fairly successful in what I did, considering I have no formal education. To become a school principal at one of the top independent schools in the UK, with people who've been to Oxford and Cambridge and have PhDs working for me, is quite unusual. I'm sure you'd have to admit. That's not a typical result for anyone, but that's what happened to me, okay? So it wasn't like my life was a complete disaster. The only thing I was fed up with, it was a roller coaster, boom and bust, until I became disgusted with myself, right? And I had to change, and thank God that God stepped in and gave me a good kick up the backside about 4.5 years ago when I lost my job for the second time in 10 years. And I was like, all right, God, I'm going to do things your way because my way doesn't seem to be working out, right? And sometimes we need that. We need to be humbled. We need to have everything taken away until we have to really examine ourselves in our soul. I don't mean superficially like, my goal is this. And I hear a lot of people say that it is done. This goal is done. That goal is done. I'm like, yeah, really? You've got no idea what you're talking about. Not being disrespectful again, but until you've been through the dark night of the soul, I bet you, a lot of you listening to this, you've been through the dark night of the soul, haven't you? You've been through that dark night of the soul, despair, heartbroken, when you feel all is lost. And sometimes you need to have that happen in your life. Everything stripped away until it's just you and your creator. And then you're going to find out who you are. And you're going to find out what's inside of you. And that can be the biggest blessing in your life. I promise you. Because there's so many distractions. Right now I've just arrived at Lakeside Shopping Centre. There's going to be shops and noise and music and blah, blah, blah and blah, blah, blah. You can't really feel yourself in that environment. Do you know that? You have to get away, nature, and sometimes to be on your own. I find the strongest people don't mind being on their own. I'm not saying you have to be a hermit, right? But you need to be able to be on your own and love yourself, okay? So tonight, 8 p.m, this was meant to be a 5-minute call, but because I was driving, I thought, why not? And like I said, some of you have missed me. Some of you, oh my God, it's Vincent again. But whichever side of whichever side of the tracks you're on, I don't mind. I bless you. I pray for you. I wish the best for you. I don't know what's best for you, but I do wish you the best. 8 p.m. tonight, I'm going to try to broadcast in Facebook Live. If not, the Zoom is on my Facebook page, the Zoom ID. Log in. I'm not Bob Proctor. I'm not David Iannucci. I'm just someone whose life changed immeasurably when I changed my attitude to one of gratitude. I'm going to be teaching at 8 p.m. I would love you to come on the call. It's free, right? The only thing you should do, the call is free. You just need to pay attention. Now, that joke's free. If you don't like it, tough. All right, so see you. I've got to go now. I have some meetings here. I love you all. God bless. Good attitude, good life. All right, see you on the call at 8 p.m. Ciao.